How's it going? It's Mike here with IdeateTV. We are here at San Diego Comic-Con 2024, and I am here with...
Marc Scott Zicree.
And Mark, tell the audience out there what you've created.
I have created Space Command, a hopeful vision of the future, a TV show that's 12 hours long. We have just finished shooting hour 6. We have a Kickstarter campaign to shoot hours 7 and 8. It stars all of your favorite actors, Doug Jones, Robert Picardo, Mira Furlan, Bill Mumy, Nichelle Nichols, Armin Shimmerman, James Hong. Incredible, on and on. Francois Chow, Sue Ann Peen, you name it. There's Christina Moses from A Million Little Things. It is just all of my favorite people. We're all making this amazing space-going show. I cannot wait to share the entire season with everyone.
Back in the day, I met Mark around the time he was starting Space Command, and he was saying that he was going to use a fabulous actor named Mike Harney, who I just saw on Iron Claw. Yeah. How did you and Mike Harney...
It was very funny. We had a worldwide talent search for Jack Kemmer, and that was played by Ethan McDowell. He beat out 7,000 other people. And Mike Harney was a friend. He was on Orange is the New Black at the time, and I was having lunch with him. And I looked at him and I thought, he looks like an older version of Ethan McDowell. I said, hey, would you like, this is like a Hollywood secret. I simply said, would you like to play Jack Kemmer's dad? He said, sure. So it wasn't a difficult process at all. I just, asked him and he said, yeah. And so what we're doing really right now is we're creating an ensemble of actors that we're using. Ultimately we're doing something called the Showrunners Network, which is 6 series and movies as well. And all of the actors that we're doing Space Command with are also in these other shows and movies. So it's an ensemble. So Armin Shimmerman will play one role in Space Command, but also play another role in Fugitive Space, which is a show we're creating with the creators of The Expanse, and another role in Sweet Haven, which is a show we're creating with the creator of Farscape. So there's wonderful times ahead, but the audience has financed this entire dream. If not for the audience, giving us money via Kickstarter and buying investment shares, we wouldn't have a studio with 3 sound stages. We wouldn't have all these wonderful episodes that we've already shot. We shot 6 hours of Space Command. Very cool.
So back when you were doing Space Command, I got to see a sneak peek of what you created. And there was a scene with Mike Harney when he sees his son take off.
Yes.
So my question is a directing question. How do you direct your actors, especially in that critical scene? I mean, he really brought it.
Yes. Well, the main thing is you cast people who are incredibly brilliant and talented, and then you just give them room. It's amazing. Well, see, the thing about Mike's character is he's a very difficult father. He's a hero himself. He's very hard on his son. He's not a soft, he doesn't have a soft center really, at least one that he shows. And so throughout the other scenes with his son, he's always grinding on him and saying, you got to be tougher. You got to make the hard choices. You've got to be a man. You got to do this. It's based very much on my own father. And yet in that moment when he sees his son launching, he can show that he really loves his son because he's not having to be put on that shell. And we see his heart in that moment. And then it's like, wow, that's really cool. Because I'm very interested in different kinds of heroes. Because you have heroes who are sort of the real men kind of guys. Right. And then you have heroes who are much more gentle and, and long-term kind of people who really have the people skills. And I think any of those can be heroes, but they're different kinds of people.
Are there anything else you and your lovely wife Elaine are up to besides Space Command?
Well, Elaine is shooting a feature called Voiceless Roar, and Doug Jones is in it, and Armin Shimmerman, and a lot of our cast from Space Command, and we've started shooting that. We're rolling camera on it now, as well as shooting hours 7 and 8 of Space Command. So it just continues. We celebrated our 47th wedding anniversary. She's the best part of every day, and we write and direct and produce together, and I never get tired of her. She's just like my favorite flavor in the world.
Elaine's a fantastic writer as well as Mark. Yeah. So how can people out there help you guys in your projects?
Well, we got a Kickstarter campaign going now for Great Solar War. And so if you go to Space Command, Great Solar War on Kickstarter and throw some bucks our way, that helps. If you want to invest in Space Command, just email me at marczicree@gmail.com. And we're now starting to accept investment in the Showrunners Network, which is Space Command and 5 other series, including one Rod Serling series that I'm in communication with the Rod Serling family about.
And where can people find you on social media or on the internets?
The best way to find me is on my YouTube channel, Mr. Sci-Fi. And I post every few days, and everything you've always loved about anything in science fiction, I talk about one way or another. I just did a video where it was real Ghostbusters writer reviews Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, because I wrote for real Ghostbusters as well. I've written for most of the shows that you grew up loving. So it was really fun.
And is there anybody that has influenced you in your career? Anybody who has helped you as far? And he wrote the foreword to your book, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I have so many mentors, you know, Ray Bradbury, Theodore Sturgeon, Rod Serling, even though he had passed when I wrote The Twilight Zone Companion, by crawling through his attic, going deep, deep, deep into his work, he mentored me as well. I'm very lucky. The world of science fiction is filled with very, very generous people. And so, you know, Guillermo del Toro, I just wrote a book with him. And, you know, these are amazing, amazing, talented men and women. You know, Nichelle Nichols, you know, I met her when I was 10. She didn't have to open her doors to me. She didn't have to give me a Star Trek script and be so kind, but she was. And it inspired me. So, you know, I feel like I'm surrounded by a bouquet of people. I mean, you know, even this conversation, I love, you know, you'll inspire me just by being who you are. You know, it's like, you know, and also, by the way, you know, it's like, you know, one thing I do want to say is, you know, I think that Asian Americans are not represented well in TV and film, not at all. And so I've made a high priority to cast, you know, Francois Chow and Sue-Ann Peen and many actors, Asian American actors, simply because, like, I grew up with George Takei. I got to work with him, thank God. Right. But again, you know, I gave him the Sulu episode he deserved, but I had to do it on a fan film because Paramount was never going to give him his own show. And so I think the more I can let people in of every stripe, of every orientation, of every background, the richer we are. You know, I feel like I'm at a party that I get to invite my favorite people. You know, and so I'm just thrilled to see you and reunite with you. And you know, I'm just the luckiest little boy in the world.
I think Mark needs to change his name to Mr. Enthusiasm. So, Mark, is there a key piece of advice you have for anyone wanting to start what you have?
Yes. Find the people who are doing what you want to do. Go to science fiction conventions. Meet your heroes. Ask them questions. You know, it's like, don't be afraid to find out. You don't want to ask them favors because they don't know you, but advice most people are willing to give. And never stop. Just, if you have a dream, do it. You know, we all have cameras in our pockets. We have the internet. We can edit on a Mac. You know, don't, if someone's toxic in your life, cut them away and just be unstoppable. Because if you're unstoppable, you'll get where you're going. And that's the biggest thing of all.